Hello everybody and welcome to day 2 of this advent calendar, or in this case day 14. And today I bring you a build in Disney Dreamlight Valley in my Frosted Heights. I mean, out of all of the biomes that we currently have, this would be the most fitting, right? For those that are familiar with my channel may realize that the build I'm doing is completely different to what was there before. Yes, I made the radical decision to completely change out everything I already had in my Frosted Heights. It just wasn't bringing me joy anymore. It was just a collective of builds put together through dream snaps that I somehow connected to each other, and I wasn't really vibing with it anymore, so hence why I completely destroyed everything and started over. I also did this because we now have the Storybook Vale foliage and items, some of which you can see in here that I find really fitting. Especially the trees. We don't have a whole lot of options when it comes to trees for the Frosted Heights. So I was very happy to see that we got more trees that could fit in the Frosted Heights, considering they are of a bluish tint. So that's why I've added in a lot of the Storybook Vale. First, don't correct me because I don't happen to know right this minute from which biomes they are. I haven't familiarized myself with the names of the biomes in Storybook Vale just yet. I'm still very much exploring it all, so they're not on the top of my mind just yet. But as you can see, I also used the ice skating rings. 2 of them, which we got in the Winter Star Path from last year. I am still working on this year's Star Path, which I will eventually do a build with in this advent calendar, but I am still working through all of the tasks and collecting all of the furniture items that I can. And so that build is coming. I don't know what the build is gonna be yet. I want to do something with the house, which is an extra item that we can get after we've completed the standard things from the Star Path. I also wanted to use some more furniture items off Storybook Vale, so I'm also gonna create a little bit of whimsy in my Frosted Heights, just because I think the colors really complement each other. Don't worry, it's not just going to be a wintry Frosted Heights. I am also going to create a little bit of a Christmas area. An area that I may change over time after Christmas when it's not really suited anymore, not really fitting anymore after Christmas is over. For right now, I am going to. And as you can see, I also made sure to keep all of my mining nodes and most of the fishing spots accessible, because I once made the mistake in the Peaceful Meadow where I completely had everything blocked off, and it was very annoying, especially during Star Paths or during quests when you need those gems, or for your daily achievements, also for the Star Path. I also wanted to keep this cave accessible still, because who knows if we ever might need it again in the future for any quests. So that's why I'm keeping it open. I don't want to put too much foliage in that pathway. I contemplated if I wanted to put some rocks there, but I was also keeping the item limit in mind, and as you can see, I'm already halfway over the item limit, and there's quite a few biomes that I have not yet decorated or fully decorated, so I need to keep that in mind. which also may involve me using some of the bigger items in the future, just keep in mind item space. I tried to do that here, but with the way I have laid it all out, that really didn't suit it. Unfortunately, I had to go with a lot of the smaller foliage items in this build, but I am not complaining. I think it turned out great. You will see the end result in a little bit. As you can see, this is where I put Goofy Saw. Now, can I say that I'm really happy with the fact that we can now rotate items even more, that we can even put things and houses on a diagonal, as you can see here. It just provides even more freedom with decorating than we already had previously. Now, do I think there's still room for improvement on this? Absolutely. Just by looking at a game like Palia, for example, where we have completely free placing without the grid is just fabulous. Or, for example, The Sims. The Sims has even more options when it comes to that. So I do think Disney Dreamlight Valley still has some options in that area. For what we got in this update, I am truly excited. As you can see, it already gave me a lot more freedom in the builds that I was doing than I had previously. And as you can see, this is where I am creating Santa's little area. Call it his outside home, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense, but I also thought it would be cute to maybe have like a little bit of a dining area. So I mean, I needed a little bit of a space filler. So, and I noticed that in the game we don't have a whole lot of festive items either, which was also a little bit surprising to me, that they keep going for wintry star puffs. And not that I'm complaining, because all of the items are really beautiful, but I would be so happy if we just got a few more festive items. I'm hoping to maybe see that in future updates. Who knows? For now, we'll just work with what we've got. One thing we have a big amount of is presents, so that's good. So I am absolutely littering this entire area in presents. In hindsight, I might have had to cut back a little bit more because there's not a whole lot of space to walk around it, but it's just decorative, right? I'm also gonna add a few little decorations to the pond here. And I had to move these clouds around quite a bit because initially I had a lot more of these throughout this entire build, but when I was walking through it, I noticed that it was too many. It was blocking the view, so I had to cut back a little. And well, this is the end result. So this is the frozen castle, and that right there is the entryway where you would enter. And this is Santa's little area. And sorry for some of the camera angles, I tried. And ice skating rings with a little seating area so you can put on your skate. And if we head along here over the bridge, we come across the Frosty Fortress and the entrance to the caves and the mining nodes still accessible, even the one behind the Frosty Fortress. And this is where I decided to take a little bit more freedom with my decorating and create a little bit of whimsy. So you have the mushroom items, and this I'd like to call my natural ice skating rink. See, we have this patch of ice in Frosted Heights, and to also keep in mind the item limit, I decided to not put as much on here. Now this was originally already there, so I didn't change anything about it. But yeah, this is an overhead view of the Santa area and the ice skating rings. And if we head along to the other side, this is an overhead view of the Frosty Fortress and the natural ice skating ring. And that was today's build. Hope it gives you a little bit of inspiration as well. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next day with who knows what. See you next time. Bye bye.